You would think that after spending a couple years working on this movie and getting to work with Larry Kasdan and getting to work with Harrison Ford and getting to be on these incredible, beautifully designed sets, but then you go onto the scoring stage with John Williams. It's a whole other kind of godlike presence.
When you have John Williams writing the music, he has all the gifts that you need to make a dynamic, exciting, delightful Star Wars movie.
When we did the very first Star Wars film, I didn't have any idea there would be a second one. Perhaps George Lucas had that in his mind already. I really don't know.
When you think of his role in not just modern cinema, but cinema, the idea that he and I got to work together on a Star Wars movie was thrilling.
I remember the first LP I ever got. I remember my mother taking me to a record shop, and I chose the Star Wars LP soundtrack, and I just remember the double gatefold and listening to it over and over, and how it emotionally moved me in a way that music had never moved me before.
Johnny's been amazing. When he found out that we were doing another Star Wars movie, he couldn't have been more excited. So I think in John's mind, he was starting to compose very close to when we started shooting. He's had a wonderful time putting together this score, and I think he and JJ have been a perfect match.
At 83 years old, he is writing music that is as exciting and vital and beautiful and fresh as anyone. To watch him with the orchestra conducting has been and continues to be an incredibly gratifying and a dream experience, truly.
I have to say I loved working with J.J. Abrams. He did speak to me about the feeling we would all want to have that this is Star Wars, and particularly connected, if we could, to the earlier films. There are references to earlier thematic connections between characters and music and so on throughout Star Wars, and that seemed a very natural thing to do, and combine it with new melodic material for the new characters and so on.
For me, the thing about John's music is it's like dialogue. It literally gives you a scene, and it's written so intricately to what the scene is. It's like if you cut a bit out, it's like cutting out a line.
What are those themes that become as iconic as the ones that we know today? That's his real challenge.
Rey, for me, was particularly difficult. It's a kind of an adventure theme in a way. It's feminine, I think, but strong in the way that she is. This is a girl who's been a scavenger, she's been alone, she's without her parents. I felt a lot of empathy for this poor creature who's at once brilliant and can defend herself with that stick and speak all these weird languages. But you want to touch something in her that's vulnerable and that recognizes her need. This feeling that she's a creature who's above the earth and sails and flies.
I feel it again. The pull to the light.
I approached the task of Kylo Ren really just as an extension of Darth Vader. If it could convey in a few short notes, as the Imperial March does, this power, evil power, strength, threat, it needs to be something that will hit you and it's accessible right away.
He's managed to make every movie he's worked on extraordinarily better. If you take John Williams out of Star Wars, it would be a fundamentally different experience.
So many scenes. The first one that comes to my mind is the fight at the end of the film between Rey and Ren. It's powerful in the sense that we get principally three themes. Rey's theme, and certainly Ren when he's dominating her. And the Force theme carries through this thing in a very important way. The trip to the island is Rey's theme. And as she begins to walk up what we call the Jedi Steps, the mountain, there's an entirely new piece. It has nothing to do with the rest of the score, which starts very softly, and it grows with her climbing. There's a kind of aspiration in it, if you like, if nothing else, than to just achieve the top of the mountain physically, which she does. She seems to be drawn to she doesn't know what. Luke is revealed musically to us and to her, and as she offers the lightsaber, we hear the Force theme. And the Force theme evolves into the Star Wars fanfare, which is the end of the film. I felt very happy to be able to continue adding to this glossary of themes from film to film. I don't know how many more of them I can do, but having kept up with them this long, I feel very fortunate indeed to have been able to do it.
I think one more standing ovation is necessary for the absolutely incomparable John Williams.